habits. You need to break yourself up if you want to speculate. Let's get right back to
Now, if we take a look
ineffective
at, like I said,
speculators.
his name
Other thing they do, they buy cheap stuff. I'm back,
Why is
and
that?
I got 5 more bad habits. You need to break yourself up if you want to speculate like a pro. Let's get right back to ineffective speculators. Other thing they do, they buy cheap stocks because they assume every
cliche is that if you don't
natural
learn
gas,
how,
those are not
you're
specific, right?
bound
You're not
to
just saying
repeat
those are natural
let me
resources.
take you back
So
a
with
little
everybody,
bit.
and you now have the bank of
Essentially
Japan,
between
England, America,
1914
Chinese
and
apparently
1920, we had
loosening up
bank
everybody
deposits
is
doubled
now
the size.
loosening the
So
money
we had
supply, printing money.
Hi, I'm Max Kaiser. This is the Kaiser Report.
We also had a relatively low discount interest rate where banks borrowed from the federal government. It was a lot more important back in the
Shortages of nearly all commodities developing and I'm going to make money in the commodities. If the economy does get better, print a lot more money, place to be, and we'll have
I was just saying, I told you this has been happening for weeks. All we do is search stuff online. And we use several different search engines, but start page stuff just proxies. And if someone in the room is watching us, right, we hope technology is watching us, learning that they're complicit with our searches, documents saying they're killing us. Of course they can't have me on air dominating. And I'm dominating all of the web now. We're being censored everywhere.
Everything in the world
I have confirmed that people are controlling.
maybe the US dollar will go up initially, but probably everything would be hit in the shock that made it worse. So I own gold. I'm not selling my gold.
The crash of Lehman Brothers. It was a discussion on my side of the former chancellor.
What the Fed is doing is simply guaranteeing that
most people don't understand
the 0% interest rates prevent.
And perhaps you know Venus Project, you know the Free Gold Charter organization, you know perhaps the books and the stories of Gene Roddenberry, Star Trek, where we live in a world without money. I can tell you it is possible. But the problem we are facing is how can we get there? And all that we have to know is it happens in our minds. We have to push the right switches and then we will find the path.
Okay guys, traders, hello to another FM Signals Info video show. My name is still Damir Galch from good old Germany, and you're welcome to another FM Signals quarterly review or outlook, or let me say the first, another monthly review I produced today or yesterday in German language. So I thought I will give you a quarterly review and outlook in English today. It's the 2nd April 2012, first Q 2012 if you want Forex market informations for proactive traders worldwide. So all 13 currencies and 78 cross rates. I want to give you a review and table about the development. After that, I want to give you some trading capabilities for 2Q 2012. First, the Russian ruble Japanese yen cross rate with the best performance in first Q with 17%. Then Chinese renminbi yuan in South African rand with the worst performance, minus 8.54%. Then I want to give you an historical overview or long-term overview about the US dollar Canadian dollar. It's the cross rate with the smallest difference, 33 pips between the last month closing and the 250 SMA. So long-term view, 250 SMA, a little bit more than 1 year. So here, by the way, I'm choosing cable also, the only cross rate with green closings in 2Q. So it means cable closes January, February and March higher than the month before. The only one of all 78 cross rates. Interesting fact. So I wanna give you a technical analysis synthesis about that fact. So facts, data, figures, the big theme. Then we've got also cross rates with red closes in 2Q. So January, February, and March closes always lower than the month before. It was Australian dollar, Russian ruble, and New Zealand dollar, Russian ruble. And by the way, Brazilian real, ZAR, and Australian dollar ZAR. So two interesting fact in this point. Two Australian dollar closes lower, and Russian ruble, two cross rates, and ZAR closed higher. So by the way, so okay, I've got also the Euro Chinese yuan renminbi. It's the cross rate with lower last 3 quarters closing, so no month on quarter basis. So third Q 2011 and fourth Q 2011 and first Q 2012 Eurogen closes always lower. And by the way, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, ZAR ruble, Russian ruble also, and Euro dollar chief and US dollar Chinese one also. So interesting fact. I want to give you a technical analysis synthesis about Euro and Chinese yuan renminbi. And interesting fact, in my opinion, here we see Euro chief and US dollar Chinese yuan renminbi. Okay, the central banks hedged this cross rate, so it's tradable, but we can't make so much money like in other cross rates in this cross rates. But it's an interesting fact. All 3 quarters closings lower here, Euro chief and US dollar Chinese renminbi. So perhaps the central banks, even the 4 central banks, want to control this cross rates. However, the last stuff again, it's yours. By the way, I'm choosing also the New Zealand dollar and Indian rupee. So it's the cross rate with higher last 3 quarters closings. So even third Q 2011, fourth Q 2011, and first Q 2012 always closed higher. And by the way, New Zealand dollar, Brazil real, Canada, New Zealand ZAR close also higher. So we see the New Zealand dollar fourth cross rates closing on last 3 quarters higher. And by the way, Australian dollar ZAR also higher, and Canadian dollar, Indian rupee, Euro, Indian rupee, Canadian Indian rupee, or chief Indian rupee, and US dollar Indian rupee also close higher. So it means the New Zealand dollar in 3 cross rates close on 3 quarters higher, and Indian rupee in 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. Here 2 times wrote it, was my error. Here 2 or 5 times Indian close lower. So interesting fact. So interesting fact, data or figure. However, I want to give you a technical analysis about New Zealand dollar and Indian rupee. And in the end, very liquid currency, interesting currency, Australian dollar, US dollar. It's the cross rate with the second smallest difference, 12 pips between 100 SMA and 200 SMA. How many traders said golden cross? So only Indian ZAR was 7 pips, but not so tradable currency, also liquid currency. And then those saw a big trading opportunity, or I don't saw so much in the technical analysis synthesis like Australian dollar, US dollar, and it's a tradable currency. So I want to give you in the end a technical analysis about Australian dollar, US dollar. So all about that, you can find out the figures, facts, data and figures of monthly and quarterly at my blog, FM Signals, blogspot.de. YouTube, you can get my videos, subscribe, question me, I will give you an answer, however. And Twitter, I will twittering usually while New York with you. And all about that, or in the end, real-time live charts at fmsignalcharts.com about our 13 currencies and much more than up to 30 currencies. Okay guys, so let's get started with the review about the 78 cross rates, and then with the 13 currencies, and then with the technical analysis synthesis and outlook for next quarter or this quarter. So stay online. Okay, here it is. Let's get started with the cross rate table. So I made an exploration results. Here are the exploration results. You can get this table also on my blog, so I don't want to talk so much about this. You can analyze this stuff again, it's still yours. Let me shortly explain only. The cross rate with the best performance in percent was Russian ruble against Japanese yen, 70% first 3 months, first quarter, and 41 pips, so 4,141 pips. Here yes. So what's here? Last Q. That's that was a default here. Here should only state the cross rate of the last, not the difference. So forget last Q. For that, this second line here. So here's the cross rate, the FX rate. Here the pips development, and here the percent. So usually here should wrote the close rate even on 31st 12 2011, but here I've got an error. However, so okay, let me shortly explain or what's important. What's here we see in the first all 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 all 12 Japanese cross rate in the first quarter were felt, so under pressure. We talked about this in our videos, so analyze the stuff again, it's still yours. However, interesting fact is after that New Zealand dollar, US dollar rises mostly, so also on liquid currency. Yeah, interesting fact, liquidity cross rate, so I wanna choose this one surely in one of my next videos. Okay, as I say, get a view of my blog, there you can analyze all these cross rates again, and in the end we see Russian ruble also under pressure. Here we see, and Chinese yuan renminbi in South African rand with 0 with 8. Okay, and then this one I want to give you an overview about all 30 currencies. So I made usually monthly or weekly, but not every week. Here I'm trying to compare. So yes, I try to compare all digits. Let me shortly explain how the nominal pips index are working. Here the pips adding rule is last. I'm always choosing 5 digits. So 5 digits here with 1 digit before comma, 2 digits before comma, 3 digits before comma, what cross rate. So last digit is 1 pip. Here the shortly explain. Here we see the lowest nominal value New Zealand chief, the highest pound yen, or the middest here in the middle Canada Rupian. So I add all pips of one cross rate with the 12 another one of every currency, 11 another one, and so I've got a nominal pips. Yes, a nominal pips add, and in first quarter was the Russian ruble with 20,076.5 the highest. So the Russian ruble made mostly pips in first quarter, followed by the South African rand and New Zealand dollar, and chief also 10,000, following by the Indian Rupian, and the euro also had a great first quarter 2012. By the way, Canada dollar with 3,430 and Brazilian real with 402. Don't need to talk about it, like euro. Also Australian dollar 277, not a little bit lower. So, but the pound also a little bit lower, 1,075, and the dollar also under pressure a little bit with 5,544, and yuan renminbi a little bit lower, not a little bit, much lower, and yen weakened this quarter. By the way, I'm also creating here a daily average for us traders, a little bit, perhaps a little bit more interesting. Okay, and the daily average means, so the nominal pips index against 65 trading days, as you see here, and then usually the Russian ruble made 426, 470. So, okay. So here we are. I've got a little bit cut off hangover. However, let's go away or further. Here the daily average was. Okay, here we are back. I've got a number. So yes, 65 trading days and 12. So here we are. 427 daily average was on the ruble, and 36 pips against every cross rate usually was the daily average. So for example, here the euro made usually 13 pips against another currencies, and the dollar lost 70 pips against every cross rate, usually daily average. So this gives me or us something like a feeling about the daily pip average. So based on maths, on data, figures and facts. So yes, statistical average if you want. So by the way, sometimes useful, sometimes not, but I'm thinking it's better to know it than not. So analyze the stuff again, even for daily trades. So if you are trading in second QE, we also know, yes, in the first QE 2012, usually euro made 13 pips against another cross rate, and dollar, for example, lost 70 pips in Q1 2012, another cross rate. So okay. So, but that's of course don't mean that second month QE it's the same, but we've got a number, and yes, one information more. Okay. However, let's go and get an overview. Here we are. Here are the diagram. So the chart, the pips quarterly 2001-2012, and here we see the Jan with the lowest, lost mostly pips, Russian ruble 1, and here the other one, Chinese 1, renminbi, euro, Indian rupee and pound lost a little bit, dollar also, and the another one. More interesting perhaps the cross rates. Here let's start with the Australian one. So let's get all alphabetic. Let's start with the Australian dollar and end with the South African rand. Here the average was 0.23 here, and here we see Chinese yuan made most pips against Yuan, and Japanese yen lost mostly against Indian, Russian and South African rand. So here also quarterly based on the Brazilian real. So press on the stop button if you're interested in one currency. Here the Canadian dollar. I don't want to talk too much about the single currencies, so I want to give you much more technical analysis about some cross rate, so I don't want to make a long video today. So here Chinese yuan only rose against Japanese yen, a little bit against the dollar, lost. Here euro. Perhaps let me shortly explain how to use this chart. Here we see the average, and here we can search out some divergence. How to say divergence? Yes, divergence. Here usually made 861 pips in first quarter, and we see here Chinese yuan made more pips against yuan and yen. So here was a breakout. So positive breakout here against Indian rupee and Russian ruble, negative breakout. Perhaps interesting facts for your trading, how to use it. It's yours. Analyze the stuff again. However, but here an info how to use this charts. Here pound also, so here breakout on the downside against India, Russian and New Zealand, but rose against Japanese yen, dollar slightly, Australian real. India also a good quarter. Yen lost against every cross rate in the first quarter. Here we can see it much better. Australian dollar, Canada dollar, chief, euro, New Zealand and ZAR mostly. Another one a little bit lower. New Zealand dollar also a great quarter, only against Russian ruble and ZAR. Another one upside. So here Russian ruble, the best quarter. Here against Australian dollar, Chinese yuan, euro slightly tight, pound, yen and US dollar rose. And the US dollar here, by the way, lost in first quarter only against Chinese yuan renminbi and yen. So also interesting fact. US dollar in the first quarter slightly lower against every currency. Okay, against the yuan renminbi, political, how to say, monetary policy will. So it's a cross rate where the central bankers are involved. So and the yen, also interesting fact, rose only against the yen. Against the other currencies in first quarter, the dollar lost. Interesting fact. How to use this fact or how to trade in second quarter we will see. But I'm thinking it's better to know than not. So come to the South African rand and we see the South African rand had also a great quarter, only lost against the Russian ruble and against another currencies. Grow up. Okay guys. That's all with the currencies. So let's get to the trading capabilities for next quarter. So for this quarter, it's today, Monday, the 2nd. Okay, here we are. Here we go. Let's get started with the trading capabilities for QQ 2012. And I choose some interesting one. Let's get started with the Russian ruble, Japanese yen and Chinese yuan ZAR cross rate with the best performance and worst performance in first quarter. Yeah, here we are. And here it's what we see. We've got here something like a turnaround in the Russian yuan. So here I've got an error in my data. However, here I'm hoping you see it. Here was the high, the low, and high, low here also. And interesting, in my opinion, are here if we are zooming. Here got some wrong. Got to upload new. However, here we see the low, high. So, and if I'm not wrong, I don't remember in what, in one monthly outlook here. Oops, where it was. No, now I lost it. Here is it. Yes. Yeah, I've create an ABC. I don't know in which. I'm thinking it was in the monthly review on January. Here this ABC, we've got it, and here we've got this outbreak. So interesting stuff. So, but I don't trading this currency and watch this daily. So analyze the stuff again. It's still yours. By the way, I'm choose another interesting cross rates for you. So and for me also, of course. Here, the Chinese yuan renminbi and South African rand. By the way, and we see here. So perhaps give me some margin, some more space. Nearly here. Here we see we've got something like a high, and here lower prices. So also perhaps here high, and here lower high. So that could be also interesting point to short this cross rate, but I'm also don't watching this cross rate daily, mostly weekly or on yes, a monthly basis, and it's not so in currency which I've got in the focus. So analyze this stuff again. It's still yours, but it could be also an interesting to short this cross rate here on the next days and weeks. So, but as I said, analyze the stuff again, it's yours. Let's go to another one. Okay, so let's get forward with another technical analysis, and here, by the way, with the US dollar, Canadian dollar. So as I said, this one I don't trade anymore, or don't watching daily. So the other one I following much more daily, thinking like YouTube, and so let's get a technical analysis about the US dollar, Canadian dollar. The cross rate with the small difference, 43 pips between last month closing and 250 PA. So analyze this stuff again, it's still yours. Okay, and here we go. Here is the all-time chart from the 70s, and we see here the major sell-off, and I want to concentrate myself much more here. So I'm painting here two lines, here on the 80s and 90s low and the high of the 80s and start of the 90s, and so we see here we are here on the downside, on historical lows if you want, so around about 1, and so I'm painting here inside here like in a flag if you want, so a triangle, so here, and we are trading this one between 105 and 0.95, so nothing new, but interesting fact to put this in a context on a historical view here. And the question is, yes, on the long-term view we will trade inside this, so we are trading inside this since 2010. While the crisis started, we have got here new lows, then highs, and then here lows again, so outside of this box, so here. So, okay, and the question is, of course, will we here will we break up or down 500 pips, 105, 0.95, interesting points levels on the historical view context. So, thinking good to know. Okay. So, here the 250 line with the 250 moving average, and we see here we are trading a little bit lower of it. So let's put this in a context perhaps. Come back. Here, yes, here we are. So here we've got the low 2007, the low 2011 last year, summer, July, and the highs. So yeah, that's the actuality long-term view. So a question is, of course, here the 250 area here, end of last year and start of this year, was this a breakout, and will we get lower prices here around about, as I said, 0.95, 0.96. So we closed last Friday at 99.885.4. So yes, we will see. I'm trading this currency also on a short view, and then we will see it in the next videos. But here the historical context or chart, perhaps interesting, perhaps not. However, so analyze this stuff again, it's still yours. So okay. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is the pound, the cable pound dollar, the only cross rate with green closing with green closes in first 1Q should this stay 1Q 2012, so January, February and March. So here we are. If we are zooming, you will see it much better. Here here we see the close January. Let's go a little bit more in detail. Here we see it. The close. Here December, January, February and March. So we've got 3 higher closes perhaps here. Let me give the monthly. So we should have 3 green bars. Here we are. Yes. Okay. So, but let's go back to the daily time frame. Here we are. And here we see the all-time charts from the 17th, and we see we are here on levels like in the 90s. So here as Soros became famous as he short the pound, cause the pound don't compare to the euro. So here and here the big short, of course, in as the house prices, now the rock crisis and the financial crisis started. And here we are now, same level even like in the 90s. So okay, interesting for me is this one. Here we see this level. So it's perhaps, if you want something like a mid price on a historical view, 1.56765. So it was the low in the mid 70s, very long, 28.10.76. Yeah, I was no born then. Yes, my parents, I don't know if my parents my parents, by the way, knew that they will have a son and a daughter. However, so what I want to say, it's very long level. And if we're painting this here, we see here in the 80s low high, back in the 90s something like a middle, and here also interesting fact. So interesting line, and we're trading something a little bit above it. So also here this downside trend, the highs in the 70s and the end 70s. And what's interesting is here on this high low trend, we see here before the crisis started we traded here above, and then we've got this fell off. So very interesting price levels, and we're trading here inside above. So I don't want to say here on a long-term view buy cable, but interesting fact. However, analyze this stuff again, it's still yours. So okay, interesting for me is here on the view this downside trend. So, and we broke this also since the crisis. So, and we are still here in this something like a consolidation on the long-term view here on the last years, but we broke this downside trend. That's important fact on a time area. So yeah, let's zoom a little bit. So here we are. We are still in the consolidation. Here the lows 2000. The lows at lows from 21st 1 2009 and 20 May 2010. So 9-10 lows and highs 9-11. 2009 and 2011, by the way. So, and we are trading. We are still in this trading box on the long-term view. And yeah, we will see what will happen. Cable are very liquid currency, useful currency. So, and we will see what will happen. So, but I'm thinking interesting fact to put this even in this long-term historical contact. Okay, here we are, 2008 the highs, and we see here we break it up. So 2010 we are trading above it. So here, even above, as I said, the long yellow line 1.5665, and we are here. We closed Friday above 160, so close by 28, 30 here, close by one. Oh yes, we closed 160, 108 on Friday. So yes, put this in a context. Very interesting. A, B, C, D, E, and yes, we will see what will happen. Interesting also the fact here on the timeline we broke 2011 this downside trend. Here 2006, 7, 8. So on a historical view, very interesting cable, very interesting. So okay, here A, B, C, D, E, and broke out. So yes, I wouldn't say yes. I don't have the courage, not the honest, how to say, to buy this cross trade on long-term view, but it looks very interesting. We will see. I will surely create a video about cable next days and weeks. However, analyze the stuff again. It's still yours. Let's go further with the next one. So here we are. US dollar loonie we've got. US dollar Canada loonie, pound dollar also got. So I would today slightly prefer the long side US dollar Canada dollar, also the long side on pound US dollar. So we've got we've got here something like an hedge. So dollar long against cable, short against pound, and I don't have a prediction about the dollar. We will see what the dollar index will make in the next days, weeks, and months. So, however, interesting fact. Let's go to the next one. Here, the Euro Chinese yuan renminbi is the crossway with lower last 3 quarters closing. So no monthly closing, as I wrote here. By the way, yes, 3 green closing. So green closes, so monthly closing. Yes. So let's get an analysis about Euro Chinese yuan. And here we are on the long-term view since 98. So, and we see we are slightly under pressure and perhaps on interesting point to buy or sell the euro against the renminbi yuan. So, okay. Interesting for me is this upside trend. The low 2010, the low 2011, and we are proudly something a little bit above it. So, very interesting fact. Here we see 2000, 2001, so lows 2000, 2001, and we are here trading something a little bit above it. Here we broke this at the start of the year, end of last year, roundabout. Here start of the year we felt under, and we've got a turnaround, and here slightly above it, so roundabout 8 or 8.2 is this upside trend. By the way, here we've got this downside trend. So here the highs 2008, highs 2009, and proudly touched 2010 the highs, or 2011 touched this downside trend, and we've got this sell-off until today. So fall back here if you want A, B, C, D, E, and down here. So very interesting on the long-term view. Euro Chinese yuan we see here A, B, C, D, E, and the question is, of course, F at this upside trend or not. So yes, it's a long-term view. So we are all daily traders, or yes, all my viewers are surely daily traders like I am too. So sometimes it's interesting, the big picture, sometimes not, sometimes useful, sometimes not. Put it in a context to your own trading plan, analyze the stuff again, it's still yours, however. So, and what I want to say, come to a point, is here also. A, B, C, so F. So, Euro, Chinese renminbi, got to make a decision, even to, yes, to fall down a lower C, creating a lower C here, perhaps around about 7.5, or even it was at the start of the year, start of the year, the low was by 13 January 2012, low at 8.04, and go back here to 9. So Euro, Chinese renminbi yuan got to make a decision. However, the market price will give us the answer in the next days, weeks, or this year. So Euro Yen, I don't know. As I said before, analyze this stuff again. It's still yours. As I said before, Loonie slightly buy signal, or a buy signal. Also pound US dollar. I would slightly also prefer to buy Euro Yen, but analyze the stuff again. It's yours. It's very. I wouldn't be wondering if we got lower prices here. So we see here we're on a downside trend, and the Chinese also, or the market, or yes, the economy, everybody wants a higher renminbi yuan, and we are here on technical levels. So I wouldn't wondering if we see this year slightly lower prices. So I'm very tight in this. I'm very tight, or I'll put this Euro Yen in a watch list. It would be today on 2nd April 2012 at 20 hour 45 minutes Central European time. The best decision in my opinion right here, right now. However, analyze the stuff again, it's still yours. Let's come to the next one. And this is the New Zealand dollar Indian rupian. It's the crossway with the higher last 3 quarters closing. So also New Zealand dollar Indian rupian, also New Zealand higher against Real, Canada and ZAR. And Indian rupian also lower cross rate. Against Canada, Euro, Chief and West dollar, and New Zealand also. So I'm choose the New Zealand dollar Indian rupian. So here it is, and we see here we are in a very upside trend. So I'm choose this one cause it's one cross rate raise in a very good or scary upside trend, and I don't want to give you here on trading capability. So analyze the stuff again, it's yours. I want to also show you that there are also cross rates in our universum and block spot where are in a very good upside trend. So I don't have the courage to buy at these levels or to sell. So we will see what will happen. But an interesting cross rate here on a historical view. Very unusual development. However, analyze the stuff again, it's still yours, and come to the last one, an interesting one in my opinion, the Australian US dollar. It's the cross rate with the second smallest difference between the 100 and 200 SMA. So how many traders are saying the golden cross. So let's analyze this cross rate again, it's still yours, however. So, and here we are, the historical view from the 70s, here around about 111 it started then, of course, and here we've got lower prices until 2000, about 0.5, and now we are back on 1. So very interesting from a technical view on historical development here. Interesting point in my opinion after the Berlin Wall felt here, we've got here this highs, and then we traded lower in Australian dollar, US dollar, so until here 9/11, and then we've got here the turnaround. So put this in a historical context here. After Berlin Wall fell to terror attacks in New York, then we've got a turnaround, then here crisis, Northern Rock fell, financial crisis, and then we are back on track, and we are trading here at, as we can say, historical prices. Then I'm thinking here, yes, here we were at this prices last time 82, 83, so here 82 at this price level, so historical price levels if you want. So how to trade this, how to manage this, in my opinion important is the high here, the high before the crisis 2008, here before we've got this fall back at 0.9849, so this price level is important to me, round about under 1, and we are trading here above it since then. So since 2010, 2011 we've got here lower prices shortly, but we come fast back on track and we are trading here above it, so that should be the price area. So very tradable liquid currency, and we will see what will happen at those price levels next time. So here I'm zooming this a little bit. Here we've got the highs, the lows, and very great upside trend right here right now. So we see here 2008, 9, lows 2010, 2011, very interesting. Here we see the upside trend, the lows 2009, 8, so very interesting in my opinion. So, by the way, here I'm zoom it a little bit much more. So here, come back, put it in a better context. Here, okay, and we back again. So here, from last year, and we see here this triangle. Here the highs last year, summer and autumn, and here the lows, and we broke it also. So we've got here, if you want, perhaps something like a turnaround formation in Australian dollar, West dollar, and perhaps a short signal even to this trend line, to this long trend line, even down under 1. So perhaps. So okay. Here A, B, C and D should this be. It's interesting. So, and the question is, of course, E isn't E, but it's also something like a turnaround formation at sea level. So we are, yes, falling here between C and D, still trading. So very interesting. And in my opinion, the most interesting fact is here, if we paint the highs on May with the highs in August. So we've got here a sell area, here a sell area, and here a bigger sell area. And the question is, of course, will hold this downside line. So we will get a recovery here above, or we will fall through down to 0.99 roundabout. So that's the name of the game, or the name of the game. However, analyze this stuff again, it's still yours on the daily view. Okay, here also the long-term view, and back the daily time frame. there we are. Okay, analyze the stuff again, it's still yours. Once again, Australian dollar wrestler, very tight, slightly bearish, slightly right here right now I would much more sell it, but I will surely give you a short-term technical analysis about this. New Zealand dollar, Indian rupee, I don't know, very high, very proud. We will see what will happen. Euro, Chinese yuan, also very tight, but yes, if you're high speculative, you could buy, but I wouldn't be wondered if we have end of the year lower prices. And cable slightly buy option. I would say on the buy side a better trading capability to make money also in US dollar, Canadian dollar, so we've got here on tight in a dollar, so hedge in a dollar. However, analyze the stuff again, it's still yours. We've got also 78 cross rates in our paper universum if you want, currency universal, and I will give you tomorrow while Wall Street another trading capability for the next 48 hours.